Hi. I don't know where to start this. Truthfully, I've been thinking a lot and I have some stuff to get off my chest and stuff I just want to say and put out there because I feel like my voice has been sort of, I don't want to say like trampled, but it's definitely been buried. Yeah, I think buried is the word. My voice has been buried over the past week or so, and I do want to say something verbally because I feel like that's the best way I can articulate some of my thoughts. So I am an adult man. I just turned 26 last month. No, August, a month and a half ago. And I cuss. I'm like Miranda Cosgrove. I cuss a little bit. I actually have a really bad potty mouth. I do try to make a lot of my content as accessible as possible to all age groups because I know that I'm an adult man and I am representing a brand that is its demographics are all mixed up. I mean, originally it was for children, and that was when I was interested initially in the brand as a child, so yes. And I am an adult man who may have some form of arrested development in the sense that I still love this brand to death, and I think in some ways I have become a little bit of a figurehead for the brand to a niche part of the community, and for that I am grateful that people have trusted me, they've valued what I've contributed to the community. So first of all, thank you to those people. But what I was trying to get at was that I have a little bit of a potty mouth, and I have utilized it a lot. Not as bad as it could be, but I've utilized that potty mouth a lot this past week on social media. And I can't say that, like that is who I am. Although I do try to censor myself as much as possible and like really try to control those emotions. I am a very emotionally driven person. I'd say I feel like I lead with a lot of heart, but sometimes shit hits the fan, and it certainly did this past week. But yes, if I cuss at all, like I am an adult, so that is why. And I'll try to keep it classy, I'll try to keep it classy. And this week has been a little bit bonkers for me for a variety of reasons, and I do want to address like everything that's happened this week. So maybe in the past 2 weeks, because my last long form video was me talking about my website relaunch, and I feel like my glasses are bugging me right now. Sorry. Let me take those off. I feel like, yeah, ever since I announced the relaunch of my website, kind of just I've been in high stress mode. I've been in high stress mode, honestly, for a while now. I would say this past year has been very, very high stress because I've been trying to get a lot of things off the ground. I work a full-time job separate from all this. And that's another point I want to make, is that this is not my full-time job, but this is something I love to do, and that's why I do it. But my full-time job is very far removed from like this part of it, but it does kind of weave in some places. So one day we'll talk about like my actual job, but I don't know if that this is the time to discuss it. But I'm sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained. It's been a long week. I announced my relaunch, but I've been in high stress mode and trying to get things off the ground for my website, lookinbrats.com, which is something I've worked on for such a long time. And then I've been working on the updates, and those have been they've been coming out amazing. But I kind of jumped the gun, for lack of a better term, this past weekend because of my reaction to a few things. But ever since like I've announced the relaunch and like trying to like make the campaign happen, and I was like stuffing maybe like 200-300 letter envelopes for like giveaways and like sending things to people. I spent a lot of money, girl. And I was doing it like all by myself. So it was like super stressful. And then trying to also like edit the things on the website that needed to get edited in that 1 week span that I gave myself while I shut down the website. I put a lot on my plate. And on top of that, I'm like trying to like work my full-time job and also try to take care of myself and like do all the things that I need to do to function. But it got to a point where I feel like I definitely crashed and burned. I crashed and burned. And, you know, it's not the first time I've done it to myself, but to the degree that it happened this time, it's definitely made me question a lot, just in regards to how I want to move forward in the future and what am I going to do to take better care of myself while also still pursuing things that I love and also just like maintaining like relationships and life. So it's a lot to balance. I've been on this weird balancing scale. It's hard to keep up with myself and like all the versions of myself that I have to play, whether it be me as a partner to my boyfriend or as a coworker or as a partner to like a company, like that kind of thing. It's been a lot of things to balance, and as much as I feel like I was keeping my head above water, it's a lot. And I feel like I didn't even like skim the surface of like all the identities I need to like tap into. Like it's a lot for one person. And I'm an ambitious person. And yes, I love to do all the things, but I do need to strike the balance a little bit more, or else I am going to crash and burn and like stress myself out. And in the midst of everything, I got super sick. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but I felt like my body was giving up on me. And I think it was the combination of a virus, which was confirmed by a doctor, but also the combination of that and stress, in my opinion, because I was stressed. And so in the midst of trying to like relaunch my website, I was sick. And then and this is the thing I do, is like I'll give myself a day or two off and then I like punish myself like internally. Like, you should not have given yourself the time off because now you're going to fall behind. Did I fall behind? 100%. I could have gotten a lot of work done in the time span of being sick, of course. And I was trying to work through the sickness so that I could get the relaunch out on time and so that I could do all these other things that I'm doing. And it was not good for me. It wasn't good for my body. And I was going through that, and I'm trying to like think, like the sequence of things felt so out of control because the Mean Girls launch happened, and I feel like that's why people are here, is to talk about the Mean Girls launch. I'll get into that just a little bit because that was a mess of a day and a mess of a launch. And you know, it's a very nuanced situation in my opinion. But anyways, the launch happened and I have content planned, filmed, all that, you know, for the Mean Girls stuff, but I feel so deterred from posting anything. And so I'm going to leave it in the hands of the people. Let me know, do you want to see the Mean Girls content that I have created? Because this got a lot of people worked up. Understandably so, because I do think the launch was hectic. I wasn't on the website to like purchase anything. Like, I looked at the website after to see what people were talking about and how that like looked. And I understand a lot of like what people were saying about like user accessibility and, you know, all of that. I don't work for MGA, so I can't like, you know, whatever. I'm sure like I'm saying as long as people are vocal to the company and to the brand, like I'm sure they are hearing and seeing all the feedback. But there is of course, a difference between constructive feedback and then just plain harassment, which is a big reason why I'm making this video. So yeah, you know what? I think the whole point of everything is that everything is complex and nuanced. Nothing is cut and dry. So with the Mean Girls launch, I posted before the Katie doll was released. I posted maybe an hour and a half, maybe even 30, 45 minutes before the launch, thinking like, oh, like, you know, it's October 3rd. Let me just get this piece of content out because it's going to support the launch. It's going to get people excited. I didn't think it was going to devolve into what it devolved into. And I didn't post that after the doll came out. By the time the doll came out, I was like on my office floor, like I was at work on my office floor, like just my body was like shivering and I was in pain. So it's like ridiculous, honestly. I was trying to like just like lay down for a bit because I just could not like function in the moment. And so I'm starting to get comments on Facebook and on Instagram about how the timing was bad and the thing sold out. It sold out within like a minute or something. And I'm just like, oh, like, okay. But then people started to get aggressive to the point where like I was getting called names and people were saying like, oh, like you're trying to gloat, you're trying to throw this in our faces because you got the dolls for free and we couldn't get the dolls. We had to struggle to buy the dolls. That was not the case. I did not post that after. I don't think I was gloating. People were trying to like say like, oh, like he's bragging because he got the dolls, blah, blah, blah. I think anyone with an ounce of emotional intelligence would know that that wasn't gloating. For me to get PR, not to say like I deserve it, but I do think that if I get PR, that I've earned the PR at the very least. And just based on like different factors of the fact that I've been running the lookinbrats.com website for who knows how long. I've been building it since 2015, so for a good 9 years now. And I launched it 2020, so I've been doing that since right before the Bratz brand made its comeback. And I've been recognized by the company, which I think it's an amazing thing, honestly. I think I've been very blessed in that way, and I've been very privileged in that way. But I don't think it came because of nothing. I think it came because of the work I've put in. And when I started doing this, I was not an influencer. I wasn't looking to be an influencer or a content creator. I still don't really like to consider myself an influencer because I don't think I have the level of platform that a lot of influencers do. But now that I like think about it, maybe I do. Maybe I am on that level of influencer or whatever it is, because I do get a lot of opportunities now. Not like a ton, but like I get a decent amount. And I feel very like, you know, grateful for that. And I feel like it's a nice testament to the work that I've done and that like these companies want to collaborate or they want to do whatever with me. And I think that's a blessing. And it's not like a vanity thing. Like it didn't come because of listen, it wasn't because of my looks. It wasn't because of, maybe it was because of my personality a little bit. I don't know. I mean, okay, everyone is going to have their opinion of me. People are going to like me. They're going to love me. They're going to hate me. They're going to be neutral towards me. It doesn't matter, honestly, in my opinion. I know people are watching me because either they love my content or they enjoy my content, or some people like to hate watch, which I don't understand the concept of personally. I don't like to watch people that I hate, and I don't like to watch content that I hate. If I see something that I don't like, I am like, say, not interested in this content. Like I'm not like reporting it, but like when you go to report something and you're like, I'm not interested in this, or show less of this content, you know, that kind of thing. So I don't know. People are, and again, people are complex. People are weird. Not everyone, but there are weird people out there. People think that I'm weird, and I just kind of have to accept that because I am sort of a public figure in the sense of I do cater to a niche community on the internet. And there's not a lot of me, honestly. Like, I feel like I've carved my own lane in the sense that I have the website and I have very curated content towards a specific brand. And yes, I do mesh in other things there. But that's just kind of on my own accord of like, I just want to like I want to talk about what I want to talk about. My platform is my platform. The way I curate that is up to me. It's not up to anybody else. And if people are here for it, they're here for it. If they're not, they're not. But the fact that people over the past week have told me how to curate my platform is tacky. And it's rude. It's rude. I don't know where people get off. If you want to curate a feed a certain way, like, you do that on your own platform. And I'm tired of people telling me like, oh, you can't post about this, or you can't post about this. You can't post PR because it's gloating. For me, it's a celebration and it's a testament to the work that I've done. And okay, like, I have to post it. So I have to post it. Like, legally, I have to post it. I have to post it if I received it. And I'm not doing it as a way of like, haha, like, I didn't know like the launch was gonna happen the way it happened. If I knew that it was gonna be a shit show, I would not have posted those dolls. I was actually not even planning on posting the dolls, and now I wish I didn't. I wish I had went with my original plan of just relaunching and then posting about the dolls, or maybe just seeing what the reaction was like, because I had no idea how limited the drop was. I asked. I did ask. I don't know if I can tell. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that to you, that I asked the company, like, hey, like, can I get some information here about like the quantity? And like, they didn't tell me any quantities. So how was I supposed to know that it was gonna be the way it was? And again, I think a lot of that criticism is like lack of emotional intelligence or just like critical thinking. Like, people were seriously mad at me because I posted the PR. So I went on my story on Instagram, and first I was venting. And you know what? My goal this year was to not give in to like the haters or the trolls or whatever, because I like to fight. And this is a toxic trait, is if I'm an arguer, and if someone is honestly, if someone's like hating me, or if they're saying something about me and they piss me off, like, I react. I'm quick to react. I think for the first half of this year, I was really good at like kind of minimizing reactions, especially after like an issue I had at the very start of the year. But after that point, I was like, okay, like, you know, let me chill. Let me just focus on what I got to do, because I have shit to do. And wow, I'm thinking back at this year and I'm like, it feels like I lived 3 different lifetimes this year. It felt like 3 different years rolled into 1 year, and we're not even at the end yet. Anyways, I'm ranting. That's how I roll. I rant. I thought this was going to be like a 10-minute video. So, and here we are. So I went to my stories. I, first of all, like, was like, fuck this. I can't do this. I can't. It really has been bad for my mental health. And I've said in the past, like, you know, I think I'm gonna like slow down, or maybe just curate the Bratz news side of my content more, because it felt like people needed like hand holding during launches, and I don't want to be the hand holder. I don't think there needs to really be a lot of hand-holding. Maybe during the Mean Girls launch, but like, again, I didn't know like how that was going to go down. I still don't know the quantities. I think people are making numbers up. I don't know. I'm seeing so many different numbers of the quantities. So I really just don't know anything. I don't know if they're going to restock. I don't know if they're going to produce more. Like, I don't know what the deal is. And what I mean, like, nuanced, is that I mean, like, I don't know that information. And there's like so many different layers to it, because it's a licensing deal. So it's like, there's probably input from Paramount Pictures, there's probably input from MGA, there's probably all these like different financial things. Like, who knows? Again, like, this is corporate world, and corporations are not cut and dry, unfortunately. There's always going to be like 50 different voices in one room trying to get one product out on the table. So I just feel like that's something to take into account. I think verbally, like, abusing the Brett's account, like, I know that, some of the comments were like, put it in the burn book. I was like, okay. Like, did we need to say that? But again, I think, sometimes you just don't know how to react. So, I guess it was fitting because it was the Mean Girls launch to say, put it in the burn book. So, yeah. I hope I'm making sense. And if I'm not and you hate me, then sorry. I don't care to hear about it anymore. So I went to my story. And first of all, I was like, fuck this. I don't need this, whatever. And like, saying like, I earned the opportunity, whatever, which was true. And then I made a stupid, insensitive comment where I compared like buying pieces of plastic to donating money to Gaza and to Lebanon. And that was very much a reactionary comment, and it was honestly way out of pocket. I should not have made that allegory. Like, it was dumb and it was tone deaf. Do I think the message of it was like, yeah, it's true. There are more important things than buying dolls. There are other ways to put our money elsewhere. I think that part is true, but I think the context that I did it in and the way that I did it was very reactionary, and I did it as a way to, I don't know, kind of as a scapegoat of like, okay, like here, like, like, fuck you, like, go do this thing. And it wasn't right of me. And honestly, I don't even know what else to say about it, because I do agree that it was dumb and insensitive. I don't stand by the way that I said it, but I do stand behind it in the sense of like, it's sort of true, but like, yeah, maybe I was an asshole about it. So I just want to say that right there and verbalize that. I've said it a million times already, and I'm sick of hearing myself say it. And I'm sure people are like, okay, like, shut up. Like, we heard you. But I feel like some people did not hear me, and some people were just continuously attacking me. Like, I was getting threats. There was some doxing involved from people, and it got weird. The whole situation got really weird, and I just want to bring into question, how much can one person take? I'm not saying that what I said was right, but I don't think the harassment and a lot of the criticisms about me, if it's about the comment in particular, I hear that and I understand that, and I respect those opinions. But there were a lot of people who just had an issue with me as a person. Like, they just did not like me, or they didn't like the fact that I got PR. Which, okay, like, fine. But then they were kind of using that as a way to start attacking me. And there were some people who I was once friends with in the mix who really, really were trying to be the loudest in the room, and were sort of promoting the voices that were not constructive, but rather more harassing. There were people just ripping me to shreds on Twitter. And there were people ripping me to shreds on like 5 different platforms, on like Instagram, YouTube, Reddit, on Twitter, probably somewhere else, I don't know. But when you hear like so many things, and you look at so many different comments, and it messes with you. It digs in, and I think that's what some people want, is they want to like dig into your psyche and make you go crazy. So I didn't express myself in the best way on my stories. I was an asshole in that sense. But it started to become personal for some people to harass me and to attack me. Name calling, bringing up personal, intimate details about me as a way to shame me publicly. And I just, you know what, like, I need to stop giving power to these people, because they're nobody to me. They're not God. They're not any sort of dictating person in my life. They're not an authoritative figure. So I don't know why I gave the words so much power, and I reacted. I think I crashed out on Twitter. And I crashed out a little bit on Instagram, and I was like, I'm done with this. Like, this is over. I think that's why I just need to, like, step away a little bit, reevaluate my relationship with social media, and also reevaluate the way that I work and my work-life balance and all of that, because I don't think a high-stress situation like that should be bringing me to that point. And I regret some of the ways that I reacted, but I do think it's human emotion. And someone said this really well. Someone online said this to me. They said, you know, we're only humans once. We only live this life once. We're bound to make mistakes. Is my cat in the room? Did you hear the meow? Sorry. He'll probably come over here. Anyways, we're bound to make mistakes. Some people like to drag out every little thing that you do. He's definitely in the room. He's scratching at my carpet. Come over here. What was I saying? Yeah. As human beings, we are complex. We all have different morals. We all have different mindsets. There's going to be a lot of overlap. There's going to be a lot of contrast between people. I don't think I'm a morally, like, moral degenerate? Like, I don't think I'm morally bankrupt. You know, I don't think I'm a bad person. Oh, he's loud. Sorry, I'm distracted. If you hear me meowing through the rest of this video, he just wants attention, and I'm over here filming a video and not giving him attention. I've been talking for too damn long, but I have a lot of thoughts. There's only a lot one person can take, and maybe the best thing to do was just to stay off social media, but I did feel the need to defend myself. There have been people who have been watching me, like watching all of my content, watching everything that I post, watching every word that I put out there, looking for, yes. They're watching everything. Not to be like, you know, like whatever, like they're stalking me, whatever, but it feels a little bit like, why are you so concerned about me and what I'm putting out there? Why are you watching my every move, looking for something to pick apart? And yes, there were some valid criticisms, but then there were some people who brought it to a personal level. And I don't think that was right. And I reacted very... My cats never know how to chill. They're always like looking to like get attention at like 24/7. I love them to death though. Okay, he finally sat down. Anyways, getting back to the point of the video is that, yeah, there have been people watching me and it's been weird. And I think honestly, if that comes with the territory, I guess I'm just gonna have to accept it. And I don't know, just block it out. But it's so hard to when it feels like you're getting dogpiled on across several different platforms to like a crazy degree. But in the mix, there has been a lot of support, and there has been a lot of love, and a lot of just like really, really kind people who have shown me support. I've gotten support on every platform that I have been shat on. I have also probably received 75% more love than hate. And I think it's a sick thing when all you feel like you're taking in and soaking in is the hate from the people, and you feel like you're not taking in the support from people. I think this time it felt like it was more of a personal issue that got dragged out publicly, and I reacted in a, I crashed out. um I hurt a few people in the mix, not like physically, but like emotionally, and I do regret that. Those are people I've had private discussions with. But there are some people that I felt like I needed to publicly say, like, get off, like, hop off, please. Like, what else, like, do you expect from someone? Like, I'm here trying to talk to people and to take accountability for my actions and understand, like, why, like, the way that I said what I said was wrong. But then there are people who just want to dogpile and to, like, just send hate. And I don't think that's the way to ever go about things. Yes, maybe call out things, but, like, also be like, hey, like, here's a way that you could go about doing things better. Because again, not everything's cut and dry. Not everything's going to be like, let me publicly shame you and expect you to change. I think a lot of people are hard-headed and are probably going to end up doing the opposite. For me, like, I'm always looking to improve myself as a person and understand how to, like, express my emotions better. But I think some people don't like to extend grace, and they want everything to be perfect, or, you know, perceived as perfect. Because, like, if you're looking to hate on someone for some reason, like, you're looking for any, like, imperfect thing about them. And I'm just gonna say straight up, like, none of the influencers, none of the celebrities, nobody, there's not a single soul in this world who is 100% perfect. There are legitimately bad people out there. There are some bottom of the barrel, morally bankrupt people out there. I don't think I'm one of those people. I can't say, like, I think if everyone, like, had a log list of every thing that they've done, like, we'd all realize that a lot of us are on the same playing field. And that's not to minimize what I have done, but it is just to say I'm not a perfect human being. I'm not ever satisfied with where I'm at, and I'm always looking to make progress within myself. And I don't expect perfection from anyone at all. That's not a realistic standard to set someone to. So if the worst thing that I did was curse people out, which maybe I shouldn't have done, but hey, shit happens. And I made a stupid comment, which I do deserve criticism for that. But the level of harassment I received was ridiculous. And I don't think that's a normal. Like, I don't think any level-headed human being does that unless they have a lot of hate in their heart or they want an issue. Some people do just want an issue. And that's just the way life is. I think just the way that everything got dragged out and the way that I reacted to certain things, my reactions weren't because I was defending my comments, and I think that's what people are trying to run with, that narrative for some reason. At this point, what's been done has been done. What's been said has been said. I'm not Cher. I can't turn back time. But I know that I can move forward, work on myself in the future, whether it's taking a step back a little bit from social media. I'm not going to completely quit social media. I can be dramatic. And that's another thing, is that people were saying that I was, like, gaslighting the community, and they were saying that I was trying to manipulate people to feel bad for me. That wasn't it. I was punishing myself because I've put a lot. I've put a lot into what I do. I've given so much of myself to Lookin' Brats, the website, the social media. I've given so much to the Brats brand. I do feel like I have given a lot to the community, and I want to give back so much more to the community because, first of all, yeah, I wouldn't have the platform without that support. But there's also just some genuinely, like amazing people. And, you know, I feel bad if I disappointed anyone because that wasn't my intention, but I was more so just disappointed in the outcome of everything. Just everything. It felt like everything was crashing down on me. It felt like the walls were caving in. And maybe I shouldn't have been on social media in that time of like vulnerability. Um but again, like what can I do now? Um but I don't want to ever disappoint anyone. I don't want to like not go through with like the website because I worked really hard. There's been a lot of time, a lot of labor. I was literally just working on it right before I filmed the video, and it's it's really fucking good. It's a really good, like, I thought like the site, like people thought the site was good before. Some people didn't, whatever, fuck them. But some people, my cat's like looking at me. Anyways, I there's been a lot of time, resources, a lot of amazing people have contributed to the site, and I gotta say, I put a lot of money into it, so I gotta do something. I have to show something for all the money I put into it. And money's another thing, is that people were criticizing me, like I left everything up to be monetized. I don't make a lot of money off social media. I'm for real doing this for the joy of it. Do I take opportunities that involve money? 100%. I don't get a lot of those opportunities, but it's great when I do because a few extra bucks in my pocket is not a bad thing. Trust, anyone would do it. Um, my YouTube is monetized. I don't make a lot of money off of it. I make like, I call it my gas money and my coffee money. And I have a partnership with, you know, a few different companies. And I make like, you know, money here and there, or I'll get free product in return, which is how it works. Like that's how like influencing and content creation, whatever works. My Twitter, I have a blue check mark on Twitter, but it's because I like to post long stuff. And so I want to go outside the character limits. My first Twitter check was like $4.11. And at that point I had like 14,000 followers. Like it literally was like nothing. It was like pennies. And Facebook is monetized, but like to a certain degree. Like I'm maybe pulling in like $30 a month. So people were like criticizing. My Instagram's not monetized. I wish it was, because I feel like I would love some extra money. Like truly would love some extra money. People think that I'm rich. Am I privileged? 100%. I am a privileged person. First of all, I am a man. So like that's my first problem. But I have a full-time job. I have a car. I have a roof over my head. I'm able to access food. I have shelter. I have clean water, I think. And, you know, like I'm able to take care of myself, and that does require money. So I'm well off in that sense, but I got criticized. Someone said like I wasn't reviewing the slumber party dolls because, excuse me, I'm all stuffy. They said I wasn't reviewing the slumber party dolls because I didn't want to go buy them, and I wasn't sent them personally. I actually did buy the whole slumber party collection by myself, and I am getting a set from MGA. That was confirmed. But like I wasn't not reviewing these. I was thinking of like time, like how can I carve out time to review these dolls? And I could not carve out the time. Between all my commitments, I was zoning in on finishing the website, like the extra new features and all that for the website. I was zoning in on that because that took a lot of time and labor. And it still is taking a lot of time and labor. I couldn't fit this into my schedule, and that is okay. Like, I'm gonna review these eventually if everyone still, like, doesn't hate me. So I found that, and, like, you know, again, I should not be feeding into the comments, but just to, like, say, like, just making, like, narratives up. I'm like, how do these people, like, live day to day? I don't understand it. And I don't know how people have the time to, like, sit on social media and, like, criticize everyone. And, like, just, there are some people who just, all they do is, like, criticize people. And I don't know how these people get paid any mind. I don't know why I'm paying them any mind. If if they don't pay your bills, don't pay them bitches no mind. So I don't know what my issue is. I think I've been vulnerable. I think I've maybe shared a little bit too much of myself, and it's not like, I don't want to, like, not share parts of myself online, but maybe not, like, the parts where I, like, react and act crazy on social media. Because it's crazy enough that I'm, like, doing what I do. Truly. And I'm sure at the end of it, people are going to find a way to cancel me for this video. And to that, all I have to say is, put it in the burn book.